The relationship is over. The shared world you built has crumbled, and you find yourself in the disorienting, painful landscape of grief, a stranger in your own life, and the world, in its well-meaning haste, tells you to move on, to get back out there, to be strong. The common mistake is to listen to this advice, to believe that your grief is a problem to be solved, a sickness to be cured. But what if your soul is asking for something entirely different? What if this searing heartbreak is not an ending to be escaped, but a sacred initiation to be honored? What if you were not lost, but are on a necessary, ancient, and heroic journey into the underworld of your own psyche? And what if the greatest treasure of your life can only be found in this darkness? The great psychologist Carl Jung, drawing on the wisdom of ancient myths, understood that the human soul does not grow in constant sunlight. It grows through descent, through darkness, through the alchemical fire of loss. In this deep, compassionate exploration, we will reframe the entire experience of heartbreak. We will move beyond the shallow advice of getting over it and learn to navigate the sacred passage of grief. We will discover why your pain is not the problem, but the path. Why a broken heart is not a wound to be healed, but an opening for a deeper, more whole, and more resilient version of you to be born. So if you are in that darkness now, I want you to know you are not lost. You are not failing. You are on a sacred path. And today, we will walk it together. The end of a significant relationship is a form of death. This is not a metaphor. It is a psychological truth. It is the death of a shared identity. The we that you were is gone. It is the death of a future you had planned. The map you were following has just been set on fire. And most profoundly, it is the death of the persona you wore within that relationship, the lover, the partner, the wife, the husband. That role, which may have defined you for years, has been stripped away, and you are left raw, unnamed, lost in a strange and terrifying new landscape. The grief is so profound because you are not just missing a person, you are grieving a part of yourself. This is why the common advice to get over it feels so violent. It is like telling someone who has just lost a limb to simply walk it off. The great mythologies of the world knew this. They did not see this experience as a failure. They saw it as a sacred passage, an initiation. They called it the descent, the journey of the hero or heroine, like the Sumerian goddess Inanna or the Greek Persephone, who must leave the sunlit world of the conscious ego and journey into the dark, chaotic, and unknown territory of the underworld, the unconscious. Your heartbreak is your call to that journey. I remember a client, Laura. After her 10-year marriage ended, she did everything right. She downloaded the dating apps, she booked a trip to Italy, she filled her calendar with friends. She was trying desperately to stay in the light, to skip the descent, and she felt like a ghost, like she was watching a movie of her own life, but wasn't in it. The laughter felt hollow. The wine tasted like ash. Her soul was not in Italy. It was in the underworld, and it was waiting for her. The common stages of grief, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance, are not a neat checklist to be ticked off. They are a messy, cyclical, chaotic dance, and each step of that dance has a sacred purpose. Your anger is not a negative emotion to be suppressed. It is the sacred fire of separation. It is the life force returning to you, burning the bridges to a world that no longer exists. It is the energy that says, "I will not die here." Your grief, your tears, are not a weakness. They are the holy water that honors the value of what was lost. You do not grieve what did not matter. Your sorrow is the measure of your love. It is the rain that is needed to make the soil of your soul fertile again. And then there is the hardest part, the part our culture fears the most, the depression of the void. This is not necessarily clinical depression. In the language of alchemy that Jung so deeply respected, this is the negrido, the blackening. It is the dark, empty, in-between state after the old has died, but before the new has been born. It is a sacred fallow season, a winter of the soul. Laura's mistake, the mistake we all make, was trying to plant flowers in the middle of this winter. The soul does not want to be cheered up. It wants to be witnessed in its darkness. It wants your presence, your patience, your courage to just be. So, I invite you to pause with me here. Bring to mind the raw, messy, powerful emotions of your own heartbreak, the anger, the sorrow, the emptiness. Instead of judging them, instead of trying to fix them, can you just, for a moment, see them as sacred forces? The fire of your anger, the water of your grief, the dark, fertile earth of your emptiness. These are not your enemies. These are the alchemical elements that are here to help you transform. This is not a failure. This is a process, a sacred, terrifying, and ultimately life-giving passage. But this descent is not just about feeling. There is work to be done in the darkness. There is a treasure to be found. The treasure is the parts of yourself you didn't even know you had lost. The purpose of the descent is not to suffer. It is to retrieve. The great secret of a long-term relationship is that you are never just with one person. You are with a hall of mirrors, a landscape of your own projections. And when the relationship ends, those projections are shattered. They are forced back upon you. And this, while exquisitely painful, is the great hidden opportunity of heartbreak. This is the treasure you went into the underworld to find. In the profound psychological system of Carl Jung, this is the sacred work of withdrawing your projections. For years, your partner was the screen for the unowned parts of your own soul. First, you must reclaim your anima, or your animus. the god or goddess that you projected onto them. Remember that magical, larger-than-life quality they had in the beginning? The very thing that made you fall in love? Maybe it was his unshakable strength. Maybe it was her wild, creative spirit. Maybe it was their profound wisdom. That quality was a piece of your own golden shadow, a part of your own soul you had not yet integrated. You fell in love with a lost part of yourself. And now that the mirror is broken, the god has fallen. And your work is to find that divine quality, not in another person, but as a living seed, awaiting potential in the soil of your own being. Let's go back to Laura, who tried to escape her grief by going to Italy. She felt like a ghost. After our work, she began to do this excavation. She realized she had projected her entire animus of adventure and freedom onto her ex-husband. He was the spontaneous one, the risk-taker. She had lived vicariously through his stories, and now that he was gone, she felt boring, lifeless. Her mistake was to believe she needed to find another adventurous man. The real work, the alchemical work, was to become the adventurer herself. She didn't book a trip to Everest. She started smaller. She signed up for a hiking class, a terrifying small step. She was not looking for a man. She was looking for a lost part of her own soul. But we do not only project our gold, we also project our darkness, our shadow. Often, in a long-term partnership, we unconsciously assign roles. One person is the social one, the other is the introvert. One person is the responsible one, the other is the free spirit. One person is allowed to be angry, the other must be the peacemaker. Your partner was carrying a part of your shadow for you. And now that they are gone, that disowned part comes rushing back. This is why heartbreak can feel so disorienting. If they were the social one, you are now confronted with your own shyness. If they were the responsible one, you are now confronted with your own fear of managing life alone. This is not a punishment. It is an invitation to wholeness. It is your soul's great, painful, and necessary demand that you finally learn to carry your own bags. So I invite you to a courageous act of inventory. This is the heart of the work in the darkness. Pause with me here. Take out a journal, or just hold this inquiry in your heart. First, the gold. What was the one magical, godlike quality in your ex-partner that you fell in love with, that you admired the most? Write it down. That is a piece of your own unlived potential, a part of you waiting to be born. Second, the shadow. What was the role they played in the relationship that you did not? What part of life did they handle for you? Were they the strong one, the funny one, the organized one? Write it down. That is a disowned part of yourself, a dormant muscle waiting to be trained. This is not just a list. This is your curriculum for rebirth. This is the treasure map of the underworld. Laura looked at her list. Gold, adventure. Shadow, financial responsibility. She had outsourced both, and her work became clear. To reclaim her adventure with a hiking class, and to reclaim her responsibility by taking a financial literacy course online. These were not grand, heroic acts. They were small, terrifying, and profoundly empowering steps taken in the darkness. She was not getting over her ex-husband. She was, slowly, patiently, and courageously, getting back to herself. And this is the path. This is the alchemy. But how do you know when the winter is ending? How do you know when it is time to begin the slow ascent back into the light?
The soul has its own seasons, and after the long, hard winter of grief, spring does not arrive with a thunderclap. It arrives in whispers. The ascent from the underworld is not a heroic flight. It is a slow, tentative climb. Rebirth does not feel like a lightning strike. It feels like the first warm ray of sun after a long illness. You will not wake up one day and be healed. You will simply wake up one day and realize you did not think about them for a whole hour. And that small, quiet space is the first crack of dawn. The signs of reemergence are subtle. You must learn to listen for them. It is a flicker of genuine interest in a new hobby. It is a moment of unforced laughter with a friend. It is the day you can listen to your song and feel a gentle melancholy instead of a stabbing pain. And perhaps the most profound sign of all, it is the quiet, growing comfort you begin to feel in your own company. The desperate ache of loneliness begins to transform into the quiet richness of solitude. You are no longer a half, searching for its other. You are a whole, learning to enjoy your own landscape. Months after her descent began, Laura went on her first solo hike, the one she had signed up for in the darkness. She reached the top of a small mountain. She was tired, she was alone, and she was happy. Not a loud, triumphant happiness, but a quiet, solid, and unshakable peace. She was not the same woman who had booked a frantic trip to Italy. She was not even the same woman who had been married for 10 years. The old Laura had died in the underworld. And this new woman, this adventurer, this financially literate human being had just been born. This is the great promise that Carl Jung's work and all the great myths offer us. Healing is not a return to who you were before the wound. That person is gone forever. Healing is the emergence of someone new, someone stronger, wiser, and more whole. Someone who has been to the underworld and has come back with treasure. And what of the scars? The world tells us to hide our scars. But in the world of the soul, Your scars are your wisdom. A heart that has been broken and has learned to heal itself has a greater capacity for compassion and for love than a heart that has never been touched by loss. It is a kintsugi heart, a heart that is more beautiful for having been broken. You are not damaged goods. You are a masterpiece of resilience. And there is a final, paradoxical gift of this journey. You have proven to your own soul that you can survive the ultimate loss, the death of a world. And because you know you can survive it, you become less afraid to live, less afraid to love again. You do not become cynical. You do not build walls. You remain open, but with the hard-won wisdom of a seasoned traveler who knows the landscape of both the light and the dark. This is the foundation of true resilience, the quiet, unshakable knowing that no matter what happens on the surface of the ocean, the depths of your own being are untouchable. Pause here with me. Think of a scar on your own heart, a past grief, a past loss. Instead of seeing it as a mark of damage, can you, just for a moment, see it as a mark of your survival, a testament to your strength, a golden seam in the beautiful, imperfect pottery of your soul? This is the work, to honor the journey, all of it. But this journey is not only a personal one. When we emerge from the private underworld of our own hearts, we often find that the outer world is in a battle of its own, a battle of us versus them. How do we take this hard-won resilience and apply it to a world that feels like it is tearing itself apart?
Today, we have walked into the heart of the underworld. We have named the shattering of our world not as a failure, but as a psychological death. We have honored the sacred purpose of our anger, our grief, and our emptiness, and we have begun the great alchemical work of the descent, the courageous act of reclaiming the lost parts of our own soul. The journey through heartbreak is one of the most profound teachings on the path of individuation that Carl Jung's work illuminates. It is a forced confrontation with the truth that our wholeness does not depend on another person. It is a painful, necessary, and ultimately liberating education in the art of becoming your own source, your own anchor, your own home. Your heart is not broken. It has been broken open. And the person who emerges from this passage will be a deeper, wiser, and more compassionate human being. Your scars are not marks of damage. They are a map of your resilience, a testament to your strength. They are the golden seams in a life that has truly been lived, not just survived. So if you are in this sacred passage of grief, your only task is to be kind to yourself. The world will tell you to hurry. Your soul asks for your patience. The winter will not last forever. Spring will come, but it will come in its own time. So I invite you now to a final ceremony, a quiet ritual to honor your own descent, to claim this difficult passage not as a tragedy, but as your initiation. If you are willing right now to honor the courage of your own heart, to trust the slow, sacred work happening in the darkness, and to affirm your own resilience, I invite you to a courageous act of declaration in the comments below. Let this not be a performance for anyone else. Let this be a quiet promise to the part of you that is walking through the fire. Write these powerful, healing words. I am honoring my descent. Let this be a collective testament to our strength, a reminder that even in the deepest darkness, we are not alone. After we have walked through the underworld of our own personal grief, we are often better equipped to face the shadows of the world around us. In our next video, we will take the wisdom and resilience we have forged in the fire and apply it to a new, collective challenge. We will explore the deep psychological reasons why our world has become so polarized. But for now, just be here. Be gentle with your own heart. The dawn is coming.